Namaskar, Adab, Shastrikal और Khushamedid. Very, very good evening to all of you people. This is your master DJ Harshvyam who is going to talk about a topic which you really want to hear. But most of the people actually believe that this is not possible. But let me tell you, whatever is written here on the thumbnail, it's 100% true. And this is actually possible. In fact, a lot of people have already done that they have studied at prestigious college, the Harvard University, and that too absolutely free of cost. Yes, you are hearing it right. And today in this session, I'm going to tell you that how is that possible and how you can become one of that person who can actually study at Harvard University, one of the Ivy League colleges, absolutely free of cost. So let me get into this detailed video and tell you how is this possible and how you can make it possible. So let's get started. But before starting the video, if you have yet not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. We also have our Telegram channel where we float a lot of useful resources. You can follow that Telegram channel as well for getting all such resources and content absolutely free of cost. The link for this Telegram channel also is in the description box. Let's get started. So first of all, Harvard University was established in 1636. Now, so some of the facts about Harvard University. So basically it is ranked 4th in the QS World Rankings. But the top 10 universities are the top 10 universities. They are kind of the best. It does not matter that which is ranking at first and which is ranking at 2, because 1, 2, 3, 4 hardly matters in the top 10. All of them are super great. Now, in 2025 Times Higher Education the World University Rankings, Harvard secured 3rd position with an impressive overall score of 97.7. Now, why Harvard University remains a top choice for US students? Analyzing its performance in the QS and the World University Ranking. So basically this has been an article across many news agencies, many newspapers, and they have been continuously covering this, that why Harvard is so likely to be the best university and why it is one of the most favorite you can say among all the aspirants. So let's see. So first of all, Harvard offers world-class faculty, cutting-edge resources, unmatched opportunities, all such thing. The best part is that Harvard has got 161 Nobel Prize winners. Can you just imagine that? 161. That's a crazy number. Probably very few universities have achieved this feat, that they have got so many Nobel Prize winners coming out of their college. And this is a really great big thing. Next is Harvard University is a private Ivy League research university, Cambridge, Massachusetts, United States. So it's basically in this Massachusetts state, and this state is a very developed state, and it has got a lot of good universities, and it is known for rich culture and heritage of research-based studies. That's why Harvard is also one of that kind, and hence it has got its place. Now, so notable alumni of Harvard University: Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook, Natalie Portman, Matt Damon, Tom Lee Jones, and then Rashida Jones, Bill Gates, John Lithgow, even Mr. Ratan Tata, he had been to Harvard. So you can just imagine that how great this university would be. Now, moving forward, so let's talk about the cost of living of Harvard University. So the tuitions in Harvard University cost somewhere around 56,550 US dollars. Converted to Indian rupees, it costs somewhere around 49 lakh rupees. Now, if I talk about fees, tuition, what is this fees? Tuition fees. This had to be something. Okay, I guess this is some misprint. But okay, so this, this is basically administrative fees. So if you take this administrative fees, something around of 5,000 US dollars, that brings again 4.5 lakh rupees. Now this is housing and this is food. So housing is around 12,922 US dollars, somewhere around 11 to 12 lakh rupees housing. This is an average. And even the food would cost somewhere around 8,000 US dollars, that is somewhere around 7 lakh rupees. So if you add all of them, this all cost is per year cost. So if you add all of them, it costs somewhere around 72 lakh rupees in a year. Now, if this is the price of 1 year of education in Harvard University, obviously anyone who has a capacity of spending somewhere around 1 crore rupees a year and it does not mind that person that much, then he or she would be able to go for Harvard. But other than that, any common person would never ever be able to think about studying in Harvard, because this amount is insanely high, and most of the people, at least in India, do not earn this much. Forget about spending this much. So then it becomes very evident that people from developing nations, student from developing nation can go to these colleges only if they are provided with financial support, and that becomes possible because there are a lot of opportunities, and that is why a lot of students from Indian subcontinent are able to go to Harvard and complete their education. Now let's see how is that possible. So, but before that, what is the selection ratio? So that is also a very important part, because if you are applying to these universities, you must know that whether your candidature would be accepted or not. So it's not that easy to get into Harvard. So basically, there are three type of applications, and the data is provided by the Harvard University in this three format. First is in-state admission. In-state means those students who are residing in Massachusetts state. So just like in India we have almost 29 to 30 states. I don't know the exact number, but those many states we have. Similarly, those states are there in United States as well. So there is a state called Massachusetts. In that Massachusetts, altogether 3,083 students applied, out of which 241 got selected. The selection percentage lies at somewhere 7.8%. Now, out of state means students out of Massachusetts but a citizen of United States. They applied somewhere 37,920 students and 1,423 got selected. Here the selection percentage lies at 3.75%. Now if I talk about international applicants, altogether 15,934 international applicants applied, 300 got selected, and the selection percentage lies at 1.8. So you would be very easily be able to understand, and total first time first year degree seeking enrolled, theek hai. So here you would be very easily be able to understand that it's not that easy to get into Harvard, because roughly 2% of the students are able to make it to Harvard. So out of 100, only 2 students would get a chance to be in Harvard. Okay, or precisely if I speak, out of 1,000 students, only 18 students would get the chance to get into Harvard. So with this picture, you can very well understand that it's obviously not easy to get into there. So first, foremost thing is that you should be able to get into Harvard. How would you do that? If you are able to complete that, or if you are able to get a acceptance letter or an offer letter from Harvard, then the second round comes, that how you would be able to make it free. So before getting into that part, that how would you make it free, first get into this part, that how would you get into Harvard. So complete secondary school is required. Harvard required SAT and ACT scores, but allows alternatives like AP, IB, CGSE, A-level or national leaving examination results in exceptional cases where test access is limited. So there are a lot of countries where student cannot appear for SAT examination or ACT examination because that country does not have infrastructure or probably no centers of SAT or ACT, something of that sort. So in that scenario, Harvard allows for an entrance level like AP, IB and GCSE, through which Harvard will take the admission. Next is English language proficiency is mandatory like IELTS and TOEFL, so that is very much required. So now, apart from this, so obviously I'm assuming that in India we have a very wide network of SAT and ACT networks, so a student would be able to apply for SAT examination. He appears or she appears for SAT examination, clears that. Thereafter he or she appears for IELTS and TOEFL, clears that. That's great. Now comes that what else is required. So there are a lot of academic and non-academic angles that needs to be investigated before getting admitted to these colleges, and that what these universities do. So basically in academics, they consider your secondary school record, that is considered, but they don't consider that what class rank did you get. So a lot of students do have this prized possession that I always stood first in my class, but that is not generally considered in Harvard academic transcript. So they don't consider this. Next is academic grade point like GPA or CGPA, which you say. Recommendations. So this is what they consider a lot. Recommendations given by your teachers, some of the notable members who have been knowing you, what recommendation they are giving about you, that is very much considered. Standardized test scores in the SAT and ACT scores, and then application essay. This is again a very important part. So these two parts are very important. Essay actually tells the evaluator that which type of person you are and whether you are a fit for that university or not. So application essay is a very important part. Next comes in non-academic. In non-academic, they take an interview, which is not always mandatory, but if they are taking an interview, that is considered. Next is extracurricular activities. So here again, this is a very important part. Let me tell you, if you are a if you are a person who have been a sports person, or probably you have represented your school or your district or your state at a larger level, they would really appreciate it, and this is actually taken into consideration. It gives a lot of points to you. So if you are a sports person, or if you have done anything which shows your leadership skills, your working in team skills, those things are considered very, very strongly. Okay, now moving forward, talent or ability, like whether you are able to swim well, you are able to play something, whether you are able to do something extraordinary, co-curricular activities, those things are taken into consideration. Character and personal qualities are considered first generation. First generation again is a very important part, because so in Harvard what happens, that they do see that whether you are coming to Harvard and whether you are the first person of your entire generation to come to Harvard, or whether there have been someone in your family, like your father, your mother, your brother, or anyone who has already came to Harvard. So if you're a first generation comer, it actually makes a huge impact. Okay. Next is alumni and relation. So if anyone is who has already gone to Harvard and is referring you, it makes a lot of difference. It actually creates an impact, okay, on your application. So if you find someone who can actually recommend you, that's great. Next is geographical residence. So geographical residence is also considered. State of residency does not matter. Religious affiliation does not matter. Volunteer to work experience, and level of applicant's interest. These three things are again important, and that's why a lot of times it is said, in fact, those people who help students in creating their applications, they always suggest students that you should join some NGO, you should join some social help group, so that you can build your profile and they can give you a certificate that you have worked in this such and such field from such and such time, and you can substantiate or prove this fact that you have worked, because the proof of work that you have actually worked on field, that's immensely high. Okay, now moving forward, so it will not always be possible for a student to have an interview. Please note that, because it's not mandatory that every time you'll have an interview. So if it is possible, you will get an interview. Otherwise, you might not even get an interview, and still you might get selected. Okay. Next is, what's the score range which is required in these examinations? So in ACT examination, this is an American College Testing Examination. This is on a range of 1 to 36. A student might need 34 to 36 in between this for getting selected to Harvard. Or if a student is appearing to SAT examination, SAT and ACT are both similar type of examination used for getting university entrance. SAT examination is on a scale of 14 to 600. In this, you might need 1500 to 1590 as a score range to get selected to Harvard. This is the cutoff. Okay. Now, application process. So basically, application process is the common application or the coalition application along with the required supplements, whatever I have said you right now. Subsets of questions and activities, list, personal essay, fee waiver request. So these all things are required, like subsets of questions. So I'll show you what is that. Activities list, that you have done anything in your life, like swimming, jogging, horse riding, any cricket playing, any sports activity, indulging in any NGO activity, any social cause thing, any self-help group, or anything, whatever you have done, you can mention that. And then a personal essay, which will actually describe your intent and which type of person you are. Next is financial aid. Now comes the financial aid. So after doing this entire thing correctly and in a very beautiful manner, I am assuming that you have been selected to Harvard. Now Harvard gives you a acceptance letter or an offer letter that, okay, Mr. Such and Such, you have been selected for the fall classes or the summer classes of 2026, and we welcome you with all the appreciations. Thanks for choosing Harvard, something of that sort. Now comes that whether will you be able to get the financial aid or not, and how does it actually work out. So here, Harvard College provides need-based financial aid to all admitted students, including international students. This need-based financial aid policy applies to undergraduate bachelor student, including international students. The aid can cover 100% of tuition, room, board, and other expenses. So it's even possible that you can get covered entirely. Your entire 72 lakh rupees per year might get covered. It is possible, and in fact, there are a lot of students who are studying in Harvard from India whose entire expense have been covered. So there are students. Okay. Now, So this snippet I have taken from the Harvard University's website itself. 55% of students receive need-based Harvard scholarship. 55%. Can you just imagine this? 55% students do receive need-based Harvard scholarship. 1 in 4 pays nothing to attend. So 55% is the amount of student who gets something as a scholarship, but actually 25% of them get 100% scholarship. Can you just imagine that? So out of 100 students, 25 students pay nothing to Harvard. This means that's absolutely 100% tuition fee waiver. Isn't that great? Super great. And still 55% do get some scholarship. That's again a great thing. Now, so what is the eligibility criteria for this financial aid? Family's annual income should be below 85,000 US dollar. What does it mean? It means that your family income should be lesser than 73 lakh rupees per annum. I guess almost like 95% families in India do have a family income lesser than 73 lakh rupees per annum, isn't it? Only probably 5% of the families in India might be having above this, isn't it? So obviously you all are eligible if your family income is lesser than this. Families earning between 85,000 US dollar to 1,50,000 US dollar. In fact, so they have made a clause for this as well. So if your family earns between 73 lakh rupees to 1.3 crore rupees per annum, then you can contribute 0 to 10% of your annual income, means 7.5 lakh to 13 lakh, sorry. 7.5 lakh to 13 lakh, somewhere around that amount you can contribute for your education. Like if your father is earning somewhere around 1 crore rupees, so he can contribute 10 lakh rupees towards your education. That much they can do. Instead of giving them an entire 50 lakh rupees of tuition fees, you can even work out with a 10 lakh rupees tuition fees. That is possible. Earning above 150,000 US dollar means earning above 1.3 crore rupees per annum will be asked to pay proportionately more than 10% based on their circumstances. So then it would be required, like whatever you are earning, based on that they would be asking you to pay that much. Okay. Next is families who have significant assets will be asked to pay more, but have home equity and retirement assets are not considered in our assessment of financial need. So basically what they do, they consider your entire financial statement, and that too of your family. Now, so say for example, if your father earns somewhere around 1.5 crore rupees, then also it's not like that you will have to pay the entire tuition fees, because for a person even who is earning 1.5 crore rupees per annum, that's somewhere around 12.5 lakh rupees month. For that person, 12.5 lakh rupees month or 1.5 crore in a year, paying 50 lakh rupees as a tuition fees would be very high. And if you include all the expenses, that would make somewhere around 75 lakh rupees. So paying a 50%, and that too in a 1.5 crore rupees per annum salary package, you would be getting somewhere around 90 lakh rupees in hand. Rest would be the taxes. So if your father is earning 90 lakh rupees per annum, and you would be asking 75 lakh rupees for your tuition fees or for your study expenses, how much will he be saving and how much he will be using or utilizing for running the family? So hence, they don't ask you for entire fees. They would be asking you in proportion to your earning. So you'll have to show the earning documents, and then they will give you the financial aid. Financial aid is the same for all students regardless the nationality. So it does not depend that whether you come from United States of America or Canada or Mexico. It does not matter. Next is, all students including international applicants must submit the CSS profile. So this is basically your candidature profile. You will have to submit that. Harvard requires tax and financial documents to be submitted through the College Board IDOC service after completing the CSS profile. So you need to submit those taxation details and all such papers. Required documents include parents and students 2024 tax returns, business documents, and trust or state documents with translations if needed. So you need to provide your entire income tax details, income tax statements, that how much your family is earning, your father is earning, your mother is earning, you are earning. You need to give all such details to them, and after that they will analyze your profile, and if you are eligible, they will give you the scholarship. Now moving forward, so other scholarships. So till here it was about Harvard. So Harvard itself does a lot of things to make sure that if a student has got an offer, he or she should be able to study to, he or she should be able to get a chance to study at Harvard And because of the hardship of finances, any student should not be denied admission to Harvard. This is what they are trying through this all information we have come to know. But that's not all. So this is the Harvard try, means Harvard is actually trying to do this. But there are a lot of other scholarships also available with which you can actually study at Harvard. So few of them being like the Faculty of Arts and Science Scholarship Program includes more than 2,000 individual endowment and gifts and gift funds established by generous alumni and donors, including a transformational $150 million. So in case if you don't know how much is $150 million, so $1 million is 8 crore rupees. So 8 crore into 150, that would be 800 and then 1200 crore rupees. So your fees is around 75 lakh, even if I take 1 crore rupees. So your fees is 1 year 1 crore rupees. They have means this scholarship has a fund of 1200 crore rupees. So it's easily possible that this scholarship would be able to fund your education. From Ken Griffin, 89, we report. So Ken Griffin is a businessman, and he had donated this amount to Harvard, 150 million US dollars for students' education. Similarly, Mr. Ratan Tata also donated a lot of his wealth for Harvard. Means those students who are planning to study at Harvard from India. He has donated that amount for Harvard education. So $50 million to Harvard, rupees $950 million to IIT Bombay. So Ratan Tata's generous donation to support research. So there are a lot of other scholarships also available. Means what I'm trying to say, if you get selected to Harvard, which is a tough deal. So if you get selected to Harvard, after getting selected, funding your education probably would not be that big deal. It would be still be possible because Harvard itself is making a lot of arrangements and trying really hard that students should be able to study. And apart from Harvard, there are other generous people also who would be supporting you in your education. That's very much evident from these snippets. Now moving forward, so there are subset questions. Harvard writing supplement consists of 5 required short answer questions, each with 150 word limit. So you need to write it down. Then Harvard has long, so these type of questions would be asked from you. So I have given all those 5 questions. One of them being, Harvard has long recognized the importance of enrolling a diverse student body. How will the life experiences that shape who you are today enable you to contribute to Harvard? So these type of questions would be asked and you will have to answer them in 150 words. And basically answering these questions would allow the evaluator to judge or to assess that which type of personality you are and whether you are in sync with Harvard's mindset, the moral values which they are holding, whether you are in sync with that or not. And thereafter they would be offering you for the next round that yes, you are eligible for the next round or not, based on these questions answers. So you need to answer them and then give it to them. So this is a subset question. So I'm telling you this, that how you have to get into Harvard, because this subset question is the first part. Next is that then you need to tell them about your activities also. So this is the entire complete performa where you need to fill that which type of activity you have done, in which type of activity you have been good, which type of prizes you have got. So these all things you need to fill out here. Next is application process. So application process needs subsets of question, activities list, which I showed you in the back, and then personal essay, which you need to write it down, which is called as statement of purpose, SOP. Okay. School report, that all your school results and all such thing, they need to get verified, and that is called as final school report, or you can say academic transcript. And then high school transcript, teacher recommendations is very important. 2 different academic subject teacher needs to recommend you. Middle year school report after your first semester grades. Okay. Now I'm an international student and my academic year is different. Do I still need to submit my mid-year report? That has been a frequently asked question on Harvard's website. To that point, if your school does not issue official or predicted mid-year grades for your final year of school, then you do not need to submit the mid-year report form, although the item may remain on your checklist. Okay, so this will remain on your checklist, but if your school is not providing that, do not get worried for that. Next is application fees for applying to Harvard is around 85 US dollar, which is 7,366. But here also they give you a fee waiver. So this means that Harvard is even trying that if there is anyone who is not even able to afford 7,000 rupees, forget about 72 lakh. If a student is not even able to afford 7,366 rupees, he or she can even apply for a fee waiver for this application form as well. And we would be happy waiving it off for that student or for that person whosoever is applying if he or she meets the criteria. So this actually shows that, okay, they are kind of ready that yes, if you are a talented person, we are ready to welcome you. You don't need to worry about finances. We will give you all the best possible help that we can give, and we will let you inside the college. Okay, isn't that great? Now, moving forward, let's keep in mind the deadlines, because these deadlines are very important. The first deadline is November 1st. November 1st is restrictive early action. So if you are applying before November 1st, that's called as early action, and you would get plenty of time to actually rectify. They will give you communication. So that entire process will have time. So November 1st is restrictive early action deadline. Notified mid-December. By mid-December, you will get notified that whether you are getting into the college or not. And then January 1st is regular decision, where you will get the decision by the end of March. And then after the end of March, your classes would be starting somewhere around August or September, if I'm not wrong. So this is a regular decision, and this is an early decision. Fine. I hope you understood. So ladies and gentlemen, that was all. I hope I have covered most of the points regarding financial aid, and I guess I have given you a clear picture that once you get selected to Harvard, after that getting a financial aid or getting the financial help would not be that tough. The toughest part would be clearing the Harvard admission test, or clearing that entire journey with which you will be cleared that now you can actually get into Harvard, and getting that offer letter or getting that acceptance letter is the tough part. But if you are able to do that, after that things would not be that tough. So start concentrating that how you can get into Harvard, or how you can actually build your application process in case if you want to. And if you want me to cover any such further thing, like if you want me to cover this more deeply, that how we can actually build our candidature to go for Ivy League colleges, you can just write down in the comment box. I'll be happy to make a video on that. Or otherwise, if you need video on any other diverse topic also, you can write it down in the comment box. With this, it's time to say goodbye. Myself, Harsh Priyam, signing off. Seeing you all a goodbye, and see you all in the next session. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.